Nashville head coach Gary Smith. We'll start with questions in the room first before transitioning over to Zoom. So let's begin with questions here. Raise your hand if you have one. Gentleman right there in blue.
Gary, congratulations for
Grab the mic, please.
congratulations for a great performance and a great show, no matter what. Please tell us what your feelings are. Obviously, you're upset somehow, but you should also be. I bet you are happy about what you guys did tonight.
Yeah, of course. Very mixed emotions. You lose a final, you're not able to lift the silverware and the reason that you're playing in the game, but you're part of a very exciting game, and I have to say, from where I sat, I felt as though we were able to put ourselves in a position in the end where we might have stolen it. I thought we were slightly the better side. You're looking at, again, the greatest player on the planet, possibly being the difference in what went on today. But if you look across the tournament and what this Miami side have been able to do to other teams, confidence that they're playing with, to your point, I'm incredibly proud of what the guys have produced. And of course, to come back and get ourselves on level terms and really look to try and win the game as well in what seemed to me a very, very good final.
Next question.
Yeah, Gary, you kind of mentioned some of that there, but you were the first team to hold Miami and Messi to a goal. I'm just curious, kind of what are some of the positives that you can take from this? Obviously disappointing to lose, but kind of looking forward, where do you go from this?
Yeah, look, there was a minimal amount of time to get ready for this game, as we all know. But I think our form going into the game was of a good level. Confidence was high in the team, having beaten some good opponents on the way to this final. And I do believe all the players and everyone at the club felt as though we could win this final for sure. And I thought the players played with that sort of passion and pride, which was vitally important. You know, this Miami group have swept aside a lot of teams. The positives to come out of this, I think we can underline again the calibre of some of the players in the group. Certainly the ability to adapt and to compete against multiple opponents, not just tonight, but against some exceptionally good opponents, and give, you know, almost every 3-4 days a very, very good account of ourselves. You know, slowly but surely over the course of this tournament, we've got ourselves back into a more positive groove, and I'm hoping, of course, we can take that into our league play now.
Next up, Jeff, and then we'll transition to the side of the room.
Gary over here. Earlier in the tournament, when Miami has scored, after that, it's almost like they're running downhill. I mean, you guys managed to claw your way back into the game. You know, what did you chalk that up to?
A lot of spirit and determination in the group. You know, we've had the ability to watch Miami in 6 or 7 games prior to tonight. So there have been a couple of things, a couple of trends that are starting to come out of their play that I thought we might have just been able to take advantage of, and we did tonight. You know, you've got to tip your hat to the quality in their group. I said it in the pre-game, guys that were not playing to the sort of level that we now see them, you know, have just blossomed, of you know, producing soccer, football at a level that we hadn't seen from them before. And whatever the reasons are, this team has come together very quickly, Miami, and they're enormously difficult to play against. But part of the game planning, if you like, tonight was to stay emotionally focused on the game, the group in front of us, and not just goals going in, because it has also been apparent that they concede chances and goals. And I just felt in the final third tonight we just lacked a little bit of cutting edge and maybe, you know, little bit more quality, might have seen a few more clear-cut chances. There was some good pressure, and there were some good half chances, but probably not quite as many clear-cut ones as we would have liked tonight, or probably could have carved out.
Hey Gary, Stephen Boyer from the Sports Credential. It seemed like everywhere Miami went, it kind of turned into a Miami home game or even like a Messi home game, but it didn't feel like that tonight. The supporters came out in full force. That supporter section was rocking. What does that say about what this club and what the sport means to the city after so many years of it growing?
Well, I think we see for sure that, you know, the city and obviously the fan base we have, and hopefully there'll be a few more supporters that have seen the game tonight that haven't before, and see the sort of pride that this team played with for their city. But the atmosphere was absolutely fantastic. You know, we've got to give credit to both sets of fans, because in the end, that's normally, you know, the sort of a picture that you like to see in a final, where it's so raucous and you know, excitable that it drives the players on, be that Nashville fans or not. Nashville players or not. But I do honestly think that the fan base and the fans that we have not only turned up tonight to see the team play, but they're desperate to see, obviously, us win a trophy. That goes without saying. And I think when you look at it, the actual appreciation and the understanding of what the group's about, what they represent, the connection has grown over the course of 3.5, nearly 4 years now. So there's so many positives to come out of tonight. The one main one, of course, we were unable to celebrate.
Thanks, Gary.
We'll go with the gentleman in blue first, and then we'll go to the back first, and then we'll have you through. Thank you. Please.
Gary, can you talk about at halftime kind of how you adjusted? There was a little more possession, and you guys had a little more intent there in the second half.
Yeah, there were a couple of things in the first half that I think the guys felt as though they could affect a little bit more. One was getting on the front foot and being a little bit more aggressive in the Miami half. They'd been able to manage the ball in their half of the field a little bit too easy. And, you know, it meant throwing a lot more energy at the game and being a lot more aggressive and taking a few more chances. But I thought those moves and that mindset paid off. We certainly, well, I certainly felt from the line that the group looked like they were going to get back in the game, and it wasn't a surprise when we did. There certainly were some discussions at half time about, you know, just being a little bit more focused and careful in possession. One or two situations that we squandered up a little bit too easy, and I just thought in the second half there was a better flow to our possession, a brighter look to the personalities of the group, and of course that comes with scoring a goal as well. But once we scored, I honestly thought, you know, we'd go on and win the game. I felt strongly that there was enough quality in the group to do that.
For the back.
Gary, we've heard from media and coaches before that getting really close to a cup and maybe falling a little short makes sure that next time you get that opportunity, you go that extra harder. Do you subscribe to that, and do you think the players are feeling that right now?
I don't know about go a little bit harder. I'm not sure the guys could have given any more than they did tonight. They were all in on trying to win a trophy for this club. And we've fallen short by the very finest of margins. You know, when penalties are going to the goalkeepers, there's not a lot in it. So I don't think that's the case. What I would say is, I think there's an awful lot of experience, not just out of this final today, because it's the first final for the club, but of course from the tournament, the opportunity to play against top Mexican teams. That will only stand the players and the club in good stead in the future. And of course the hope is that any frustrations or disappointments that we have tonight can obviously be a fuel in the future when hopefully this opportunity comes around again. And as long as, you know, we grow from this and we don't feel as though, you know, it's a failure, because it isn't. The guys have been absolutely fantastic tonight. I thought they played wonderfully on you know, such an important occasion with the pressure that they were under. So hopefully there's a lot of growth to be had out of that as well.
So we'll go with the gentleman here in the light blue shirt.
Gary, kind of along those lines, what was your message to the team afterwards? And then I also another question. I assume, you know, you were pretty close to executing your plan for Messi, other than maybe one moment.
Yeah, I'll answer the second part first. Absolutely. You know, there's, as I've said before, there are certain characteristics and trends in this group, this Miami group, that are starting to become a little bit more apparent. And you know, the coach is beyond me now. Cincinnati on Wednesday in the semi-final will I'm sure take an awful lot out of what's happened tonight. A big part of it, of course, is to try and deny Messi time on the ball, opportunity in the final third, and connections. You know, he's such an intelligent and talented player, you know, saying what everyone knows. And they're also connecting, you know, connections, points, dots. Busquets and Alba, of course, they're easy ones to look at, but his relationship with Taylor has developed incredibly over the course of 6 or 7 games, and I think Taylor's output and goal scoring creation has gone through the roof because of it. So yes, of course, I'm delighted with the way that we denied him in particular space, but I think, you know, this is the first time that I've seen him play live, and I think what I would take away from it is this: that there are moments in the game that it's just unplayable. It's not over a prolonged period. It's not for 90 minutes. There are windows where he just comes to life, and it's almost impossible to deal with what he is wanting to do. And I think obviously that's the calibre of the individual. The message to the players was, you should walk out of here with your chin high and your chest out. You should be proud of what we've produced, how we've played, not just tonight, but what we've been able to achieve in this tournament against some very good teams. And at the very outset of it, it was to be in a better place for our league form. But it quickly became apparent that we might have something more to play for, and I think you saw that in the performance. So there's no negatives in the way that, you know, we've gone about our business tonight. Just real disappointment.
Cool. We're out of time, guys. Thank you very much for your questions.
Thank you,
Coach.